And as you can see, we do have some players starting to populate the pitch, so we will be jumping straight into the match. Of course, as always, we have seen the Valley Esports side on the channel before. It's Gary and Toph up against Shadow and Zera, jumping it down into the fight, and already Shadow getting the ball deep into the orange corner. It's over in front of the goal, and Zera just already there to capitalize. Nobody from Valley able to get there in time to shut down that quick offense, and it's a snuck-through goal where they're just able to dominate off the kickoff and get an early one-goal lead only 10 seconds into the match. Jumping straight back into it, and Zera already going to have some possession straight away, and over in front of the wall. Shadow now trying to get back up, does manage to find himself the ball. It's over in front of his own net, so Gary dropping down, gonna leave it for Zera, and Toph now trying just to fall back, but Shadow already another shot at an open goal, and once again the cracks showing for Valley Esports, and Mistral striking straight off the bat, and just really nobody there to contest. Some difficulties so far from the Valley Esports side at controlling the ball. They're allowing a few too many balls to go haywire, and it's just allowing a few too many shots over towards this net. So you're already seeing we're jumping straight back down into it, and Shadow now taking possession, gets it over to Zera. It's in the corner. Toph trying to get this ball away while Gary just tries to force some of the defenders away. Not quite able to do it, and Toph gonna get met there by Zera. It's bouncing in front of this goal, and Gary forced to clear it to the corner. Toph making sure no follow-through shot can come out, and that's already just gonna start getting cleared away. Toph over to the wall, forcing Zera up, corralling a bit, but Zera able to keep control, not able to get a final touch, so Gary to boom. It's downfield. Oh, into a shot, and Shadow up in time to block. It's over to the wall. Shadow no connection, but leaving it down for Zera. Toph beats, and that does allow a shot over towards this corner, but Shadow taking possession, gonna fight against Gary. A 50 forced, it's back towards the net. Gary trying to regress this issue, but it's just gonna be left back for the teammate as Toph going to finally come through, gets a shot on target, but it's gonna be denied by Shadow. Flying up along that goal line and not going to allow that first of two needed if they want to secure overtime here in game one, or at 3 minutes 20. Zera already a center back over towards the orange net. No boost to follow through, and Toph going to take a life for it. It's back up to the wall. It's now Gary just trying to get this off the backboard. 3 minutes. It's going to be a little bit too high. The aggression does allow it to fall over, and Shadow just going to be forcing this ball away from any orange offenders in this end. Shadow to retake it on the wall, trying just to follow it all the way through. Toph for the effort, tries to get in front of it, but blocked away. Zera met in the air against Gary, does save that ball back down to Shadow. It's a replay up mid. Toph trying to cover the angle, but gets one out against in the end. Shadow, a beautiful little pinch off the ground to seal it straight past Toph, and the 1v1, one out. What a phenomenal little mechanical shot he pulled off, just to sneak that one by and get the hat-trick lead for Mistral. Toph to meet against Shadow. Gonna be able to re-get some boost, but you're seeing Gary taking advantage of this. That's actually a double commit, and Gary managing to find finally a crack in Mistral's armor. He manages to find some way at getting that ball straight through the crack, and a flip over a double commit is going to be more than enough to seal up the first of three that they're going to need if they want overtime to be secured. 2 minutes 40 left, so plenty of time to do it. Zera winning the ball over into the orange end, but Toph to reaggress fast. It's over to the corner. Over into this wall, and Shadow to replay. Gonna be able to pick this one up and forces the issue. Gets it up against Toph. Gonna try to do this one all himself, and absolutely nobody there to deny. A beautiful little aerial showcase as he wins out the 50, jumps up immediately, does a little bit of a twirl just to put on a show, and manages to sink that one straight in for a 4-1 lead in Valley Esports. Looking to try to find something, try to bolster that defense a bit. They're warming up, they're getting into it. We saw that they were able to force out one goal off some mistakes, and if they can find a few more before the end of this game, they're definitely going to be able to fight their way through to the finish line. But we need to wait, and Gary going to make us wait no longer. Comes through a pass off of the teammate of Toph. Gets it straight past one, carries it through, you'll see right here, leaves it, gets it over fast, and Shadow's just not expecting the pass play. He's setting up to try to stop that near the corner, and it catches them off just in time to sneak past a second goal. Zera to follow through, gets it over to the wall, but Toph's already meeting. Shadow to stop on the ramp, gets it down over, and now bouncing it over in front of this blue goal. Zera trying just to dribble this one away, but he ends up centering it, and Toph won't miss at that angle. The shotgun shot directly into the net to seal up a third goal, and now, where they were down by 3, it's only separated by 1. As with 2 minutes left, a sigh of relief starting to come through for Valley eSports, but they still need to tie it up. They need to secure that overtime point. Shadow kills off what could have potentially been a strong opening shot, but Toph reading out that play, manages to touch it himself and getting in the way. It's going to bounce over in front of the net, booms downfield, and oh no, Valley eSports, no, not like this. They lose the 2-goal lead again, and it goes in off a boomer, much the way of the first few goals, and a wide open net with no one back there to deny. And the aggression just going to lead into a little bit of over-aggression as Valley eSports drop back down to trailing by 2. Almost into the 100-second mark as we're about to enter the final minute and a half of gameplay. Already Gary stopping this early aggression from Shadow, but just being a little bit of a nuisance in the back line. But Toph manages to get this ball in front, demos Zera for the trouble, and you thought that Shadow's work at just keeping the second player out of the play was going to leave Zera with a perfectly easy goal to keep out. But it's a nice little demo play from Toph, able to force the issue just enough that they have to aggress out a little too far. And that ball going to find its way into the bottom left corner of the goal, and with it, shrinking that lead back down to 1. Gary trying to force it down to 0 as a shot, but just a little too wide. Toph to read off against here. 78 seconds. Going for a ceiling, but with low boost, it has to just be the momentum carrying it, but no hits there from the blue side, and that's going to be a beautiful little taking advantage of the situation. Look at this. Toph with no boost gets this perfectly centered up. Shadow can't connect, missing the shot there on the other teammate, and Toph with no boost manages to get in front of that sole defender and bumps them out of the way. So we see 5-5, and what it was surely a game for Mistral is slowly but surely being fought back here from Valley eSports, and they've gotten themselves to the point where any goal will give them their first lead. But Shadow trying to aggress this issue so much, gets it in front of the goal, but not quite enough room to get it forced in. Zera just to want to force this issue while they're recovering, gets it over, but Toph to deny. Gary to boom this back downfield, and Zera jumping up to see if they can get in the way. It's going to be back over to Toph. Back over to the corner. Gary wants to try to redirect this, and Toph manages to get it past Shadow. And it's an open net, and it's actually touched in by a defender. Toph getting an 8-ball medal just for the fun of it, and Toph managing just to force that one through. Gets another additional touch, and Shadow, how unlucky. He's flipping across, trying to block any potential shots, and it bounces off his wheel to sync up the first lead in the game for Valley eSports. And with only 33 seconds, Mistral's got to be shaking their heads a bit. I mean, they've allowed a 4-1 scoreline to devolve, and they're now on the losing end. They have to try to force in some sort of goal, and Zera's going to try to make it happen. Gets it over, tries to get a nice little shot on. It's a potential pass, but Shadow not connecting. Shadow wants to try to do it all himself, starts dribbling it in. Zera to shot. Oh, and it's just off denied as Gary jumping with 0 boost to deny it on the goal line. Zera has to deny. Toph's clear, not able to do it. 100 boost, so if the miracle can start happening, maybe they can keep this alive. It's an opportunity, as with 1 second, this ball is still airborne. It's over to the wall, but it's going to be sunk into the grass as Valley eSports rally back and win out game 1, 6-5. Jumping right back into the action. They don't want to cool down even for a second longer. Jumping into the first kickoff of game number 2. Valley eSports stealing away game 1 and able to steal away the first goal of game 2, as well as Toph off a fast follow-up to that kickoff. Gary getting it straight over to that wall, and Toph in the perfect spot to sneak a goal straight in right along that crossbar. And what a nice placed one. Enough power there as well that Shadow just could not get back in time. It's going to be already Valley Esports. They looked warmed up and ready to go. They might have been a little intimidated by that flawless streak Mistral put up through regulation, but definitely not looking scared right now, but maybe they should be, as Shadow just going to absolutely do it all himself. Takes that ball straight off of Toph, steals it away with a pinch off the ceiling, just comes through and sinks in a nice little angle from the corner to seal up the equalizer, and just like that, in under 14 seconds, we've gotten ourselves a tied game yet again. Toph getting it over mid. Zera to reaggress this fast. It's not quite on, so Gary gets a nice little adjustment, and Toph reading it. That's a fast replay, and it's going to be Shadow to try to get back into this, but it's on the wall. Gary to try to get back into the fight himself, but now into the corner. Toph going to be able to pinch this off, and that's actually a potential center, but Shadow gets in the way. Gary trying to read the issue, wants to try to sink in a precise shot into the corner, but isn't quite able to connect the blow, as Shadow jumping off. A double commit on defense, but it works out, and now they've transitioned into the offense, but Toph gonna steal it past both. A potential shot on board. Zera has to force away and does manage to get just in time to block Shadow. Some nice adjustments from him as well to get in front of that ball and deny any further aggression, but Gary replaying this, a pinch high, and that's a potential shot from Toph, and it's a little too high, but Shadow has to clear this away. Zera to replay this and just can't hit it down, but it's over off the top crossbar. Toph to replay over off the right wall, and now a pinch of his own, gets it mid, gets it back over towards Shadow, unfortunately, and that leaves it for Zera deep in the midfield. Oh, but Gary, that aggression leaves the orange goal a little bit too undefended, but Gary gets back just in time, managing to take away almost a stolen goal, and that's a 3-minute 30 time you're seeing on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. We saw two quick goals from both teams right off the bat, 14 seconds in, and since then we've seen nothing. 6-5 was the scoreline the first time. It's been a high-scoring game, but these teams right now just do not want to falter and give up that first lead. Zera, a shot, but it's easily saved by Gary to replay this as well. A double touch comes through. It's over off the back, but Zera able to clear that one away. It doesn't quite go mid enough for Toph to reaggress, and it's going to be Gary forced into a 1v1, winning it against Zera. It's over against Shadow now, not able to win against him, and that's a potential shot. That's dangerous, but Toph going to deny it. Comes in from the corner. A hit over Shadow as well, and Toph going to be able to play up here against Zera. No boost from Zera, but managing to use the car, gets a nicely timed jump to block off any shots, and Gary tries to slap that just in over the defender and denied by Shadow. Toph hits it off the stop, but it's going to be stolen away by Zera. Back over in front of the net. Gary to kill, but it's back over mid. Shadow forces it back to the corner. Gary to play it out. It's over off the wall, and now a replay back into the blue end. Shadow having to fall back, having to try to reaggress this, and Gary not going to give him any time. No time as well, but luckily Zera able to jump up just in time to deny. Shadow over to midfield. Toph trying to steal this pass, but Zera nicely placed. It's a boom downfield. It's a potential shot, and Gary gets back just in time. What a save. Nicely timed as Toph able to replay this. Some good positioning work from Valley, but it has to be a shot here. Gary picking up the ball, perhaps trying to fake out some sort of fast shot, and Zera able to corral him off the boost, and now with none, it's a reaggression here from Mistral. A minute 45 left, and we've still seen no further goals. These teams neck and neck as they are just trying to find some sort of opening in the defense, but nobody allowing anybody any sort of open shot. It's back to the corner. Shadow to hit it off over towards mid, and that's booming it deep into the orange end. Gary just to kill it to the wall, trying to come up and replay, and actually a nicely placed shot. Shadow has to get off and not quite prepared to fight at that angle. Toph's almost able to slip it in, but it's just off the crossbar, and luckily for Mistral, they're able to replay it fast, but Shadow trying to force the issue, leaves it mid for Zera, and that should be a shot that's too easy to miss, but somehow it goes a little too high. Goes down off the crossbar, and it's saved just along the goal line. Valley Esports keep it equalized as Gary tries to get the favor back in their court, as now Zera trying to clear this away. Toph trying to replay it. It's going to be another 50, and Shadow wins it out. It's over with 0 boost, though, as Gary gets it back over into the corner, and it's just Zera with this ball in the midfield, trying to play it up. Gary steals it away, and that's going to do it. Gary gets himself the goal, and with 37 seconds left, Mistral, who had an open net opportunity, almost able to seal themselves up a lead, give up a roller to Gary as he steals it straight off the hood of the car. 40 seconds left. We know that Mistral can put shots on board, but they need to try to force the issue now. Shadow gets it mid, going for a bit of a ceiling shot, gets the flip, but it's tough to catch, and Gary already on his tail looking to play this off whatever type of lie. Gets it in a 50 against Zera on that wall, but Zera just looking to boom this mid, gets it to Shadow. Back to the wall, back over to Toph, getting it back over in front of this blue net, and now the aggression finally paying off for Toph is getting a wide open net and a 2-goal lead just to seal the deal. And with 11 seconds left, outside of some miraculous goals needed, it's looking like Mistral are going to be giving up game number 2 as well, and with it, match point. So 11 seconds. Has to be a good kickoff here from Mistral, and it is. It's over into the orange end. Shadow has to play this fast, has to get something. Zera's set up for it, but Toph's there in time, and that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to seal up game number 2, and Mistral looking to be potentially swept out of the playoffs after a flawless season in regulation, as Valley eSports go up 2-0. It is now do or die time for the Mistral side. They are down 0-2 in the IGL playoffs, single elimination as always. So the loser here will be knocked out and not be allowed to go into the semifinals. And Toph, a fast play off the bat, trying to get the shot off quick, but it's going to be Zera to clear it away. Toph to replay it, but it is going to be a slight little adjustment there, allowing Shadow to get it off and into the corner. Toph to replay. It's back over to the wall. Back over to Zera, who wants to just clear this away. Does get a little bit of an unexpected touch, but Toph able to adjust in time. Over to the wall. Shadow to replay this, and Gary just going to have too good of a lie, and that's a little bit unfortunate. I mean, you could see there, Shadow, no real boost to go and try to save that one, but Gary just getting a perfectly timed shot where Shadow getting off, knows he really can't win that fight, but he doesn't know that Zera's in the back, just not really ready to try to go up and save that. So it's a really good timing there from Valley eSports, and they managed to strike first during a boostless little opportunity there. And it's going to be a nice little flick over Zera, as well as Gary getting it in front of the net, trying to just be a nuisance in the net. Toph trying to sink that one in by proxy as Gary just carrying this one in front of the net yet again. Shadow, a nice save. Back to the wall. It's going to be Gary wanting to play this off. Zera to replay and catches it. Gary back to the corner. Oh, is able to snag that boost as well, so Shadow gonna have to keep possession, and he does manage to keep any of the orange guys from stealing it, but a miss from Zera. That opens up a shot, but off the top crossbar, Shadow stealing it back away. Zera over to fight off here, does not want to allow Toph to take that angle, and now just wants to see if maybe they can dribble it down the field. It's over to Gary, boom back down, and Shadow gonna have to replay this, gonna have to get a nice little touch, but Toph forcing the issue, and it's just gonna be disaster there in the goal line. Toph forcing the issue there where Shadow just can't get in front of the ball because you just got this orange car driving in front of you, not allowing you to even land. And Zera tries to do what he can, tries to get in and steal that one into the corner, but just not able to, and that's a 2-goal lead yet again from Valley eSports. Shadow wants to play this. It's going to be dropped in front, is not able to connect, and Toph, oh my goodness, how is he able to get there in time? Managing to sneak away, steals himself inside of that goal, and manages just to smack it out right as it's about to count. What a good timing there, and might be rewarded with a goal as well, but it's left a little too close for comfort, and it's not going to be capitalized on. Gary able to force the issue, but not able to secure the goal, and now Shadow trying to transition into a shot, and Gary jumps up just in time, denying anything out of Zera, and forcing this ball back to the wall. Zera forcing a 50 himself, so it's floating over into this orange end, but met in the corner. Gary getting bumped for the issue, but Shadow, just to try to get this off of any defenders, can't seem to do it. Zera to replay, and if he had actually hit that touch, it might have been a potential for a shot, but Gary able to read it off the whiff, and that's going to leave it to Zera back in the orange end. Gary touches it mid. Gonna be trying to get cleared out there by Toph, but not quite a touch, and that leaves Zera with an opportunity towards net. 40 boost, 50 boost, tries to set up some sort of flip reset play, but isn't quite able to get there, and Shadow had already fallen off just to not allow a third goal. We saw early on in game 1, Mistral, no stranger to having dominating leads and seeing comebacks, so absolutely still an opportunity for Mistral to fight back into this one, but They need to start waking up soon because it's about to be the 120-second mark. That's the final 2 minutes. Shadow gets a nicely placed shot, but Gary's just there uncontested to save, and Toph replaying this immediately. They just don't have any time to breathe on the Mistral side as it's just shot after shot, but finally one of those shots finds its way into the orange net as a beautiful little pass from Shadow sees an opportunity to sneak one by, and it's going to be Zera finally able to get there in front of the goal and seals up the first of 2 that they need to sink themselves in overtime here in game number 3. Shadow, a touch makes it over to the wall, and Zera to force this off fast. It's a little high, so not quite going to find the net, but it's over to Toph on the wall, and another pinch out. That's going to be nicely placed, but Gary getting it back yet again, and Zera, it's time for round 3 as he takes it into this corner again. This time, a pass over to Shadow, but Toph able to follow it, keeps that ball off of net, and now Gary has to try to jump up to save this, isn't quite able to touch it, and Zera not able to get there in time, so it's going to be Toph to clear it away. Gary now clearing it once again, and Shadow this time allowing it just to get a little bit farther in. Zera gets some boost for the trouble, and Shadow just forcing the issue and not allowing that ball to get off of that too much. That's going to be Toph hitting it back over towards mid. Zera to replay. It's back to the wall, and we're seeing if maybe some aggression could force Zera away, but no, Zera managing to keep full possession here, and with 58 seconds, does get the ball in front of the orange net, trying to set up something, and they're able to find it. What a beautiful flick. Not expected completely from the blue-sided player. As you can see here on the wall, they're just ready for a shot in, but he hits a pass, gets it off that crossbar over to Shadow, and neither of those orange defenders was expecting any possibility of a passing play. So into the blue end, we find ourselves in the final 50 seconds and a little bit of a lifeline found for Mistral. They only need 1 to secure up a game at number 4, and with it, the first of 3 games needed for their reverse sweep. But Shadow catching this, trying to play it away. Gary wants to try to force it in, not able to do it, and Toph a floater, but it's a little too off. That's going to be over to Gary, and Zera managing to sneak one by. That's an open net, and that's a little bit of a risk there, as nobody able to get back in time, I say, but Shadow has to go for a little bit of a slower shot, and they're able to get back just in time to get in his way. Toph scaring Shadow off the ball a bit, but with full boost, he's going to be able to reforce this issue. Toph going to have to come up and play it. It's a pass over mid. Zera tries to come up. 0 boost on Shadow, so Toph an opportunity. 8 seconds, 7. Shadow taking this ball, booming it back over into the orange end, trying to go up and force something mid. Can't quite find it, and Toph just going to kill. We finally see an overtime for the first time this series, and what a crucial overtime it is. Valley eSports with match point, and it's Mistral trying to fight to stay alive. They do not want to go out of the playoffs 0-3, but it's looking more and more likely unless they can find a shot. Shadow denying Tophs, and it's just a little high. Gary to replay this. It's into the corner. Zera to stop it, and it's going to just roll along this wall. Gary might try to reforce the issue, but Toph gets a little aggressive and leaves that ball for Zera, but it bounces back mid. Toph being able to re-aggress again, gets Shadow the ball far enough away where they can just try to replay this towards mid. Zera intercepting again. That's going to be a touchdown, and Gary was already committing for that one, so a little bit of a mistake being made, and that's going to allow Shadow to come through and keep the team alive. The one mistake from Toph, getting that ball out of the way of Gary, who is trying just to boom it back downfield, is the one mistake that allows Mistral to stay alive. They're not going to go out 3-0, but they still have a lot to do, as 2 more games needed to make the reverse sweep a possibility, as we jump in shortly to game number 4. Straight back into the action. Mistral managing to stay alive with golden goal. Now they're trying just to fight back in and see if they can tie up the series. 2-2, as they're going to be needing 2 more straight. A reverse sweep again necessary for them to stay in the playoffs. Shadow denying that pass. And Toph trying to steal it away, but managing to get denied there. Nice little adjustment from the blue defender. Just going to leave it over to Toph. Trying to get back up onto the wall, and Shadow forcing the issue. It's going to be going off the top, and Gary managing to steal it away, but Zera stopping it, forcing Toph into the play, and now Shadow with the ball yet again. Full boost from that, and it's going to be Gary to steal it, so Zera left in a 1v2, but managing to already take one player out of the play, and Toph getting a little bit over aggressive. That leaves it mid, but managing to get back in time. Gary stops it, gets it over in front of the net, and Shadow redirecting it onto net, in fact, but it's a little bit risky, and he decides to leave it for Zera to clear away. It does get cleared, and now Gary just shooting a fast one. It's a quick little save from Shadow, but a necessary one. It was just over the head of that defender, and managing to deny that first goal. So a minute expired, no goals scored yet. Zera managing to force this ball over to the blue end, you say, but Toph gets there in time, denying it. And actually, Shadow dead. That leaves the goal open, and Gary just wants to force this one in, and they're going to be able to. And a nice little demo play coming out of the Valley eSports side. They sneak in here, and Gary, he knows he's got the time. Shadow spawning unluckily over on that side. Can't quite get into the play, and Toph just waiting for the pass off after he takes a life, waiting there grinning like a murderer caught in the act. As Zera meeting towards mid, Gary wants to play this off the wall and full boost to do it. Shadow trying to read against and does read the flick. So Toph having to deny this, and he's not able to do it. Shadow fighting back immediately. And a nice little play from Valley eSports gets immediately equalized as Shadow. Look at what a fast play that was. Immediately landing on the wall, and it couldn't have been more than half a second he was there. Jumping off immediately and getting in front of that goal and in front of that ball. 3.5 minutes left. Finding its way over in front of the orange end yet again, as potentially a 2-1 lead could be secured if Zera can open up something. Does begin to. It's mid. Shadow with a shot, and there it is. Nobody able to predict that little bit of a pogo shot, and you'll see right here, Zera, a nice pass into mid. Shadow, a quick shot down, and Toph just not able to read that one. I think the screen from the other blue offender kind of just clouding his vision just a bit there, not allowing him to get as forward as he would have liked. And that ball sneaking in. So a lead gained here from the Mistral side, and dominated on again is Zera. A beautiful little flick play, and just like that, they've not only equalized it, but they've done 3 times as much, twice as much. But I was gonna say, that's not a word. And Mistral find themselves a 3-1 lead. A reversal of the Game 2 scoreline at the end. But we know that Valley eSports, they were in a worse situation than this and were able to fight back, so with 3 minutes to go, you definitely can't write them out of it yet. And Toph, a pass over mid to Gary, but a little bit too high, and that opens up Shadow with a nicely placed boom downfield. Nobody from Valley can get back in time to deny it. So just like that, Mistral fighting their way back in, and a 4-1 lead. Seems like a mirror image of game number 1, doesn't it? As we're seeing Mistral dominating yet again from the early stages of game number 4. But we know this scoreline all too well. Zera giving us one that's a little more unfamiliar, as it seems like Mistral's starting to just find their stride. A fast little play off the kickoff, maybe forcing Valley eSports into a more defensive stance. Will they get a little too far over to one side of the goal? And Zera managing to set up a nice little shot and sinks it in right into that goal to get a 4-goal lead. 22 seconds away from the halftime, and we still have yet to see another goal out of Valley eSports. They have one, but they trail by 4 now. They need to try to open something up, and not a great start as Zera given an open goal shot. Doesn't quite land it in, so luckily no 5-goal lead if you're a Valley eSports fan. That's going to be Gary to hit it back down mid. Over to the wall, and met there against Zera, who was trying to clear it out. Gary does manage to win it out, and over to the net, and Toph trying to set up for that one, but it's just going to be Shadow with an open shot at the net, and there's that 5-goal lead. Mistral finding their stride. They're just playing defensively because they know they don't have to aggress at all to take this game away. It's Valley eSports that has all the pressure to deliver, and as long as they just wait back in their end, don't allow any shots on net, no real way for Mistral to drop this one, so it's going to be another shot into the blue end. Zera wants to clear this away. Toph claiming Shadow, so a clear away could be dangerous, but Toph wants to try to play this one up. Met there against Zera. It's going to drop straight down and not able to get the second touch, but Shadow there to boom away. Toph off the wall. Gary off the wall, and now it's Zera just to play this off the bounce, and Toph getting caught a little bit out by that, but bouncing it up for Gary, who starts a clear, but it's over into the midfield. Toph leaving it, and that'll be Shadow to play. Gets up just in time to hit it towards the corner, getting a demo onto Gary somehow, and managing to get it back over mid to Toph. Gary in the back, just trying to boom this pass towards goal, but an easy clear for Shadow, and deep into the orange end. You're going to be seeing it's just a back and forth show line, but something about the Valley eSports play, it just seems like they're a little bit more scared of what Mistral can do. I mean, they were able to sneak by with wins in game 1. They were able to dominate their way to a win in game 2, but they just have found nothing here in game 4, and even more as the Brazil gets scored. Shadow coming through, 5 goals for him in this game. Absolutely finding his form, and you're seeing it's just Valley eSports not finding anything on the pitch. They might already just be resting a bit, looking forward to game number 5, just ready to fight back in, because with 68 seconds, it's a hard issue to try to get 6 goals just to secure an OT. Toph managing to get out something here, but it's not quite a shot as Zera an easy save, but Gary comes through for a sunk goal, and that's the first of 6 that they need to fight back in. With only 55 seconds, with 5 goals to go, that's about 1 every 11 seconds. Has to be a real showing of dominance here from the Valley eSports side. Not saying it can't be done, but I think from the Mistral that we're seeing right now, it's going to be very hard fought. And Toph, a fast play, does get a shot on, but Zera back in time gets it to the corner. The 3rd goal denied. It's over. Gary to try to clear this one away. 10 seconds expired, so they're already with 13, 14 gone. They're past the average time that they need. Gary can't quite find a shot, and it's Zera to fast follow. It's going to be a bounce down in front of net, and Shadow almost able to backflip that one in. Gary just to keep an 8th goal from being scored, but that looks like it's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Mistral able to steal away a game number 4. Maybe steal away isn't the right term, because it's been dominating from start to finish. We're even going to get the 6th goal back right at the end to get up to an 8-2 lead. And there's just nothing Valley can find in this game so far, and they're going to start getting a little bit more nervous, you got to think. I mean, they were up 2-0. They've been forced to the limit, and then here in game 4, they're just completely shut out, and even in the end, Shadow not allowing even a moment of rest. As a 9th goal scored here from the blue side players in Valley eSports. They got to be a little disheartened, but they need to rally if they want a chance to keep the reverse sweep from happening. But Mistral have done more than enough to earn their shot at staying alive in the playoffs. They're going to be able to go into a game 5. Match point for either team now, as we're going to see a good old match of Rocket League finished out in a best of 1. Here we go, loading into game number 5. It's been back and forth, and Mistral managing to fight all the way back in for a shot at staying alive in the playoffs, a shot to win it all. We're going to be seeing a fast play. Zera taking the ball. Shadow actually leaving it for him, allowing no mistakes to come through and have some sort of double commit goal get scored on him. So Gary to boom back downfield, Zera to play, and does manage to hit it off the backboard. Shadow to replay this, a boom downfield. Toph wants to get up and deny, and does manage to get there in time. So it's back to the wall, back to Toph. Just trying just to sink this one in, and a backflip from Zera. An unfortunate backflip on the goal line, and that's going to do it. That allows the first goal to come through for Toph. And under 30 seconds, it's going to be Valley eSports biting first, and Zera gonna be a little bit embarrassed about that one. I mean, it happens to everybody, but it's just unfortunate. Zera off the wall. It's over to Gary. And what Valley eSports do not want to do right now is give up a goal immediately and let it be equalized. Zera trying to do everything he can to make that come true, and it's gonna be Gary finding a shot pass, but it's just a bit wide. It's over. Shadow trying to clear this one away, but he doesn't connect. Toph's still there. Drops onto Zera, and it's hit back high. It's over in front of the net, and Zera Gary trying to get that one on net. Zera now finally trying to come up and aggress this away, but with a death from Gary and a wide open net, Toph just barely missing. It's off the top crossbar, and Shadow trying to replay this one off. He hits it back. Zera to try to replay this mid, but Toph manages to beat him there in time, and we're seeing a little bit of nerves coming out of the Mistral boys. They're finding some way to keep these shots from going in, but there's just too many mistakes. Look at how many demos have been found onto the blue side players, and they're just allowing too many shots, but Zera not able to connect onto that one. Gary, a miss, allows a shot back over towards their own, but it's going to be Shadow to replay this. Zera catching it, trying to replay over into the orange end, and it's just going to be killed by Toph. So back to the wall. Back to Shadow, booming it over. It's not on, so it's over to the right, and Shadow wants to get the double touch, but he's just not there in time. Zera to try to get this one away, and does manage to keep Gary from clearing, but it's going to be a boom back into the blue end, and Toph wants to reaggress this one, forcing the issue, and gets it over towards mid, where Zera waiting to try to replay this one, but Gary steals it away. It's back to the blue. 3 minutes left. Still only that lone goal on the Valley Esports side, but Shadow's fast, and he's not going to leave it there for long. It's a 1-1 scoreline, and just like that, Mistral have equalized. It's a reset field, and 22 seconds away from the halftime. Definitely no fast goals coming out of either teams, but both are going to be looking for this kickoff. Toph up against Zera, and it's one over into the orange end. Zera has to play this, manages to force the 50 to that corner, and it's just going to bounce mid. Shadow to replay. It's off the wall. It's back over towards Zera, and just trying to play this out of the corner. Gary hits it mid. Toph just allowing nobody to come through and get a shot on net, and Zera, is he going to be able to save that one? He can't. And Toph, what a nice little lobber downfield. Gets it just far enough past Shadow that he can't turn in time to save. Gets it just far enough past Zera that he can't jump up and deny. And another backflip coming through, and it just seems unfortunate there as Zera, 2 unfortunate backflips leading into goals. And sometimes that's all that makes the difference. It's mid. Shadow not able to steal that one into the goal. But it's going to be Zera to try to play this. Over in front, has Shadow there potentially for a pass, and does hit that flip over, but it's not going to find its way into the net, and Toph playing fast, trying to get this one past, and it's going to be Zera to the wall again. It's over to Gary. A boom back towards that goal, and it's going to be Toph to play mid, and Zera getting bumped. That leaves it for Gary, and with 0 boost, he's still making quite an impact, getting it into the corner, getting it over to Shadow, but the boom away. 2 minutes. Toph to replay. It's over, can't quite hit the first connection, but able to win some time, and that's going to get it past Zera as well. Does manage to get a touch, but still being played in front of this blue goal, and it's just going to be killed high. Over to the other corner. Gary trying to fall back, knows that Toph's falling off, does not want to allow any openings, and does manage to get up in time to deny the air dribble. Shadow to replay, it's back over to the corner, is killed high. It's down, and Gary back to this blue end. It's just finding its way over towards this blue goal so many times. And with 80 seconds left, it has to be something from the Mistral side. They're so close to staying alive and getting themselves into overtime, but they need to find one goal, and the time is ticking more and more. And the more this clock goes down, the more pressure is going to be on them, because they know what this means. If they lose this, they're out of the tournament. And Gary, once again, just not allowing in another air dribble. Shadow tries to dribble this across, but Toph just going to get behind him and bumps him just enough to force it wide. Gary to follow through. Shadow trying to force some sort of a 1v1, and does get the shot on, and Shadow, what the hell is that? He's doing everything he can to single-handedly rip Mistral into the playoffs, into the semi-finals, and he just does it all himself, straight off the wall, and beautiful car control to find that ball into the middle of the net. It's going to be a hit by Toph over into the blue end. Shadow to play yet again, and a pinch over to the goal, but Gary killing it high. It's going to be over to the wall now, and Zera wants to try to force this issue, but it's over to Toph in mid, but no connection on that ball, just a little bit too high. And Shadow to try to find this ball over to the orange net. Gary to read it. It's a pinch over into the blue corner. Zera to replay. Does aggress it and does manage to get it out. Gary to try to jump up and touch it, but it's going to be bouncing right back down to Shadow, who isn't able to find the net. It's just a little bit left of goal, and now Toph with the ball going into this blue corner. Zera to kill it, but it's over to the wall, and Gary's already on it, trying just to center something. Shadow waiting in the net. Toph, can he get there in time? He's not able to, and with 5 seconds, this ball's bouncing into the orange. They need to deny it. They need to kill it for golden goal, and that's where we're going to find ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 goal separates these teams from being in the IGL Fall 2020 playoffs and being out of them. Whoever scores the next goal is going to do it, and you thought for a second Zera might pull it off, but Toph gets up in time, kills it over. It's finding its way into the blue end, but now up onto the wall yet again as Toph needs to replay this. He does, gets it into the air, but Shadow off the ceiling, able to read that and intercept. A boom downfield. Gary wants to play it. Zera getting forced there by Toph, but not able to secure the goal. Shadow booming it back downfield. It's a shot on. It's a little high, and now Gary has to clear this before Zera follows. He does, and it's going to be hit back over. Shadow does manage to force this away, but it's over into their own goal, and Zera back just in time to deny the roller. It's up onto the wall, and it's Toph to force the issue, bringing it back over in front of the blue goal, though Gary wants to try to force this one in, wants to try to secure up the playoffs, but he's not able to do it. It's back to Toph, back to the wall. A minute expired, and nobody letting up even for a second. Gary booming it back downfield. Zera not able to get there in time, so it's to Shadow. Not able to read that Gary. Now it's Toph in a 1v2 as Shadow starting to take this one downfield, but the low boost leaves it for Shadow, leaves it for Toph, and that's going to be a shot on. Gary has to get there in time, and he's not able to get there. Gary unable to do it, and the backflip finally favoring somebody on the Mistral side. Zera, what cosmic justice. It's Gary found with his back to the ball, but Zera is able to sneak it in behind him, and just like that, Mistral with a 3-2 scoreline pull off the reverse sweep and get themselves into the IGL Fall 2020 semifinals.